Hi, my name is Janoi Daley. I am a Jamaican American artist living in Cleveland and Maryland. I just recently graduated from the Cleveland Institute of Art, class of 2024, and this is New Chapter at Summit Art Space. A lot of the exhibition tackles this idea of perception and how the viewer is responding to the work in relation to the figures within the paintings and or the mirrors. It's taking a chance to slow down and put them in subject to the work rather than the subjects of the painting being the one that's viewed. I think all the figures in my paintings have a presence. I think that they know who they are, they're not asking for validation, and I think that for me exemplifies Blackness and this cultural narrative that I'm pushing. This piece is oil and spray paint and acrylic on unstretched canvas. The painting for me is kind of tapping into folklore and culture in terms of code switching, colloquialism. I think being unapologetic is to command space and not necessarily being selfish in that, just knowing who you are and how you're moving through the space and how you respect others within the space. I think that this piece specifically is letting you know that there's violence there, that they're accepting the violence and they're not submitting to it, but allowing it to be present, but also commanding attention and dominance. I think the fluorescent pink came about my sophomore year when I was experimenting with what I was doing and who I was as an artist. I started using it and I never put it down. I think it's the underpainting to most of my paintings. I leave it showing at the end of every painting as well in some fashion. If it's not the underpainting, it's still incorporated through oils on the top. I just think it's very seductive. I think it's very sexy. I think it's a very dominant color. This piece is called Follow the Light, and it's just mainly speaking about being a Black woman in society and how those two things can't be separated. And just kind of how do I present myself and how do I continue to move through something that might be a little bit difficult or might be a little bit challenging, but knowing that I will get through it and I'm looking towards something. I'm always at war with myself in terms of identity. There is my Jamaican side and then there's my American side because I've grown up here. But I think that I'm always at war with the way I think about things, how both my cultures kind of combine and merge and collapse at the same time, how language is used in my brain. I think that there is a code switching when I am presenting myself. And I think that there's this tug of war happening between allowing myself to be me in different spaces. So yeah, I think the paintings kind of create space for both to happen and a lot to happen simultaneously, and just for my identity to exist without bounds. I am everything and nothing at the same time within all these paintings. I don't think I'm nothing. I take that back. But I am everything and then able to just be me and just exist, and there is no anxiety, no fear attached to these beings. They're just there. They're controlling their space, but they're also controlling the space in which the viewer is interacting with.